For all you scientists out there and for all the students who have had a hard time convincing these people regarding the truth of the Bible, here's something that illustrates God's awesome creation and shows He is still in control. Did you know that NASA's space programs are busy proving that what has been called myth in the Bible is true? Mr. Harold Hill, president of the Curtiss Engine Company in Baltimore, and a consultant in the space programs, relates the following incident. One of the most amazing things that God has for us today happened recently to our astronauts and space scientists at Greenbelt, Maryland. They were checking out the positions of the Sun, Moon, and planets out in space where they would be 100 and 1,000 years from now. We have to know this as we do not want a satellite to collide with any of these in its orbits. We have to lay out the orbits in terms of the life of the satellite and where the planets will be so the whole project will not bog down. Computer measurements and data were run back and forth over the centuries when suddenly it came to a halt, displaying a red signal, which meant that either there was something wrong with the information fed into it, or with the results as compared to the standards. They called in the service department to check it out, and the technicians asked what was wrong. The scientists had discovered that somewhere in space in elapsed time a day was missing. Nobody seemed able to come up with a solution to the problem. Finally one of the team, a Christian, said, "You know, when I was still in Sunday school, they spoke about the sun standing still." While his colleagues didn't believe him, they did not have an answer either, so they said, "Show us." He got a Bible and opened it at the book of Joshua where they found a pretty ridiculous statement for anyone with common sense. There they read about the Lord saying to Joshua, "Fear them not, I have delivered them into thy hand, there shall not be a man of them stand before thee." Joshua was concerned because the enemy had surrounded him, and if darkness fell, they would overpower him. So Joshua asked the Lord to make the sun stand still. That's right, and the sun stood still and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is this not written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hastened not to go down about a whole day. The astronauts and scientists said, "There is the missing day." They checked the computers going back into the time it was written and found it, but it was not close enough. The elapsed time that was missing back in Joshua's day was 23 hours and 20 minutes, not a whole day. They read the Bible again and there it was, approximately, a day. These little words in the Bible were important, but they were still in trouble, because another 40 minutes were still unaccounted for, and this could mean trouble 1,000 years from now. 40 minutes had to be found because it can be multiplied many times over in orbits. As the Christian employee thought about it, he remembered somewhere in the Bible which said the sun went backwards. The scientists told him he was out of his mind, but once again they opened the book and read these words in 2 Kings. Hezekiah, on his deathbed, was visited by the prophet, Isaiah, who told him he was not going to die. Hezekiah asked for some sign as proof. Isaiah said, "Shall the sun go forward 10 degrees, or go back 10 degrees? And Hezekiah answered, "It is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees, nay, but let the shadow return backwards 10 degrees. And Isaiah the prophet cried unto the Lord, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz." 2 Kings chapter 20 verses 9 to 11. 10 degrees is exactly 40 minutes. 23 hours and 20 minutes in Joshua, plus 40 minutes in 2 Kings accounted for the missing day in the universe.